What's up everyone, Slasher Movies here. Welcome to Oscar Sunday. I'm so excited to watch the Oscars. It's always one of my favorite things to do, even though sometimes it drives me absolutely mad. So of course, I felt like today was the perfect day to release this video since all the top 10 lists are out and done and put out into the world. So of course today we're going to count down the very last one, the biggest one of them all, and that is the top 10 best movies of 2019. Y'all, 2019, what a year. It was, in my opinion, a good year. It was also a bad year. It was a lot of a year. And you'll see with this top 10 list, because in my opinion, it's an absolute mess. There are movies that are not on this list that I know are in a lot of people's top fives. And it's not because I hated them. It's just personal opinion and personal taste. So, of course, like every year, I have a few honorable mentions I want to shout out these films. The fact that they are not in my top 10 is, in my opinion, kind of embarrassing, but there's 10 slots and I just couldn't fit them all, given my personal taste, and you're just going to have to get over that. And those 5 films are Uncut Gems, The Irishman, Marriage Story, Little Women, and Waves. So starting my list off at number 10, I have The Art of Self-Defense. I know, some weird, small, obscure movie is in my top 10 and not those other things. Dylan, your pretentiousness is starting to show. Yeah, I know. But look, y'all, I love this movie. It is so funny. It is so entertaining. And I think the performances from Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots are brilliant in this movie. And I love Riley Stearns as a director. And I think this movie is just infectiously entertaining and funny in all the dark kind of ways. And this movie has a little bit to say not only about toxic masculinity, but also our weird obsession with violence on screen. And I think this movie is just so entertaining and fun and brilliant. Coming in at number 9 is A Hidden Life. Yes, I know, the pretentious version of me is really beaming high. Yes, y'all, I love Malick. I adore Terrence Malick. And I know he's not a director for everyone, but he is a director for me. He makes me feel like I'm going to church, and that's exactly how I felt like while watching this movie. I felt like I was in church having a religious experience. This movie is so spiritually moving. This is the biggest, most spiritually moved film I've seen since Martin Scorsese's Silence, and I just felt completely at this film's disposal. The main character, his arc, his journey, honestly, I found him to be a role model. And I think if you're a fan of Terrence Malick's earlier work, I think you might actually like this, even though this movie is nearly almost 3 hours long. And it definitely has a bit of his, non-narrative-esque craft. But in my opinion, this is his best movie since The Tree of Life. It's like Tree of Life will always be number 1 because that movie feels like it's directed by God himself. I know that's, for Malick haters, that's a crazy statement to say, but this is number 2 for me. I wept, I soared, I had so many different array of emotions, and this movie it's a different movie for everyone, and I think your own personal life and experiences are going to be thrusted onto the screen while watching this movie, and it just, I wept, and in a very therapeutic way while watching this film. Coming in at number 8 is The Lighthouse. Y'all, I love Robert Eggers. This man is a true masterful director. His visuals and how he's able to just make his own sort of worlds is just brilliant in my opinion. And taking William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson and putting them on a rock and making it look like a 1920s silent film is utterly captivating and haunting and funny and weird and so much farting, and the performances between these two people are absolutely electric. You have William Dafoe giving absolutely just amazing monologue sequences and so much dialogue and just completely absorbing. And then you have Robert Pattinson, who in my opinion gave the best male performance of the year, because his facial expressions and how he's able to say so much with his eyes and all that stuff is utterly captivating. It is so haunting and terrifying at times, and you don't know where this movie is taking you, and it's definitely not for everyone, but good God was it for me. Number 7, ladies and gentlemen, is Climax. I will not stop praising this movie. This is a hallucinogenic nightmare. It is unreal. And I think that this is Gaspar Noé's best film. How he just thrusts you into this story is just... It's a shock of electricity to your whole entire body, and you just cannot look away. And the way that the camera dances with all these dancers, in my opinion, is beautiful and just hypnotic to watch, and it is absolutely terrifying. And how he's able to build the foundation of all these characters, I think, was really smart and genius. And how he switches from different point of views is really cool. And it is just a roller coaster ride. And the last act of this movie, sweat and bullets, y'all. I was petrified while watching this movie. Number 6 is Knives Out. Knives Out, in my humble opinion, is some of the most fun I've had at the cinemas in 2019. I love this movie. This is Rian Johnson's whodunit murder mystery, while also not necessarily being a murder mystery whodunit. And this movie is utterly brilliant, in my opinion. I loved the plot of this movie, and how the mystery is unfolded is so entertaining. There's so many twists and turns, and even when I thought I knew where it was going, man, Rian Johnson would throw another wrench into the mix. It was fantastic. And the ensemble cast, man, this ensemble cast is so captivating to watch. There's so many scene-stealing moments, and watching all these actors just bicker with each other under Rian Johnson's fantastic direction is just so entertaining. And I can definitely see this is going to be a movie that is just going to have so much endless rewatchability, just because not how much fun it is, and 2, just the pure genius of it all. And I'm so excited that it seems like this movie is becoming a franchise, and I cannot wait to see more crime detectiveness and hopefully more donut holes. Alright, you guys, we're at the halfway point, and number 5 is Midsommar. Ari Aster is a filmmaker for me. I generally feel like he's making movies for me. I adore this filmmaker, and what Ari Aster did with this movie, how he was able to take, a Wicker Man style cult movie where a group of friends go to a foreign country and get sucked into this possible cult, and horror ensues, and take it and bring real world applications and real world struggles into the mix, is brilliant, in my opinion. How this movie talks about toxic masculinity, toxic relationships, codependencies, culture clash, all that stuff, and this massively sweeping epic of a horror film is breathtaking, in my opinion. And this movie is also hallucinogenic in the sense of the roller coaster ride of what's going on screen, and how it makes you form your own thoughts of what might be going on. Is just brilliant, in my opinion. And I think Florence Pugh's performance as Dani is my favorite female performance of the year. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 4 is, 1917. Y'all, this is a remarkable war film. I'm not that crazy about war movies, but the war movies that I love, I praise the all high and mighty, and this is definitely one of them. This is just a massively sweeping war epic that also is very small and intimate, and I thought that was a remarkable thing to do. And I think Sam Mendes' decision to shoot this film or give the impression of this movie being shot in one take is, yes, it's a gimmick, but I'm a massive fan of gimmick films. I love going into the movie knowing, they're going to be doing this one thing. I love watching that and see if they accomplish that, and they absolutely accomplish that. How this movie is consistently pushing forward is so exhausting in the right kind of ways, and is exhilarating and emotional and sweeping, and the score is fantastic, and Roger Deakins' cinematography, oh my goodness, I just want to know how he made some of those shots. It's just lustful, and man, it's also so emotional, and I cried my eyes out at the last act of this movie. Oh boy. Top 3, ladies and gentlemen. Number 3 is Ad Astra. Y'all, this movie, I was not prepared for. This was like therapy. It was like a therapy session that I did not sign up for. I was thinking that I was going into this space exploration film in the sense of 2001 and Interstellar. This is not that. This is not that. And this might be also why there were a lot of mixed reactions to this movie. But what I got was a sweeping, emotional, spiritually moving film. This is a movie that talks so much about toxic masculinity and all the issues that men feel with dealing with suppressing feelings and emotions and daddy issues, and Brad Pitt's performance in this movie is absolutely brilliant in my opinion. And this is a movie that I recommend every young boy to watch, because I think this is a movie that a lot of young men or men in general deal with, and they're afraid to address because men have to act and be a certain way. And I love that this movie explores that in a genre that men particularly love, and I think that is just utterly fascinating. It is beautiful, it's sweeping. I love how quiet this movie is, and Brad Pitt's performance is just so subtle in all the most brilliant ways. An incredible performance, and he should have been nominated for an Oscar in my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, my number 2 slot goes to Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Y'all, this movie is hot. I ain't even gonna lie. This movie is hot. This movie is bursting with personality and bursting with color and life, and the performances of these two women and their bond and their bickerness and their love and all the different array of emotions that these two women have for each other is just electrifying to watch. It is a absolutely stunningly gorgeous movie, and the cinematography between is just brilliant and lushful and colorful, and man, this movie is beaming with life. And that's what I think I love so much about this movie, is from the beginning of this movie to the last frame of this film, which in my humble opinion, the last frame is the best final moment of any movie in 2019. Of course, once again, I'm a crying mess because I cry at everything. It just wrecked me, and it's sweeping and soaring, and everyone will connect to this movie, whether you're gay or straight or lesbian, or what queer or wherever or however you represent yourself. You will connect with these two people, and just because of the time and everything, it is just, we've all been there. We've all had our love and disappointments and, gifts and rewards and all that stuff, and this movie explores all that just absolutely beautifully, and this is just a remarkable movie. And of course, we've come to the end of the line. My favorite movie of 2019 is Parasite. Y'all, the second that I was done watching this movie, I knew that I had just seen something remarkable. And like I say, remarkable and captivating and masterpiece and brilliant. Yes, I probably overutilized those words, but this movie absolutely deserves those titles, because what Bong Joon-ho has made here cannot be understated. It is a masterpiece. The craftsmanship that is at hand here, in terms of story, in terms of performances, in terms of pacing and everything, is unreal. It's a movie where not only is the message so meaty and satisfying, but the film itself is just as equally satisfying. And this is a movie that I think has so many moving components, and the fact that they all simultaneously work so well. In my opinion, this isn't just like the best movie of 2019. This is one of the best movies of the past 20 years, in my opinion. Like, possibly top 3 for me. I was blown away by this movie. It is incredible. It is my favorite film of the year, and I think Bong Joon-ho was the best director for this film, and how he's able to incorporate a lot of issues that are going on in Korea and bring them to light in this film, while also in how it can even mirror stuff that's happening here in America, is just brilliant. And there's a sequence in this film that is, one, so freaking funny, and then there's a sequence in this movie that is arguably one of the scariest scenes I've seen all year. The tension of it, how everything rattles to a boiling point and then bust, is shocking and captivating and blew me away. And that is why Parasite is my favorite film of 2019. So you guys, there you have it. Those were my top 10 favorite films of 2019. Make sure to let me know in the comment section below what 10 films you personally loved in 2019. What movies did you absolutely love? I would love to know. And until next time, I'm the Slash Movie, and you guys have just been slashed.